I'm Robin Miller-Brecker.
And I'm Karen Lenzer. Welcome to Seeking Center, the podcast.
Join us each week as we have the conversations and weed through the spiritual and holistic clutter for you. We'll boil it down to what you need to know now.
We're all about total wellness, which to us means building a healthy life on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. We'll talk to the trailblazers who will introduce you to the practices, products, and experiences that may be just what you need to hear about to transform your life.
If you're listening to this, it's no accident. Think of this as your seeking center and your place to seek your center. And for even more mega inspo, sign up for Seeking Center, the newsletter at seekingcenter.app. While birthdays, anniversaries, and the holidays are typically calls for celebration, when you've lost someone important in your life, those days can be extremely painful and serve as giant reminders that your loved one is no longer here. Today, we want to make getting through those times easier. We brought back the spectacular Jaime Breeze, who is a spiritual medium, psychic, and animal communicator. She's going to offer messages of hope from her experiences working with the other side, as well as practical ways to acknowledge and incorporate your deceased loved one while managing the grief and loss that you feel. Jaime's also going to do a live reading right here on Seeking Center. Jaime has no idea who's calling in. Karen and I know that there is divine timing with everything. So the fact that this opportunity became available for this person and right before the holidays, it's definitely not a coincidence. We know that whatever messages come through will be helpful in coping during this holiday season. So much to get to. Let's get going. Hi, Jaime.
Hi, Robin. Hi, Karen.
So good to see you and your bright, smiley face.
Yes.
Thank you. You as well.
We're so thrilled to have you back on this podcast.
Thanks so much for having me back. I love doing podcasts with you ladies. So anytime.
You have such a unique blend of abilities, really, that I think bring a lot into this conversation. And it just, I think, serves up how sensitive and intuitive that you are. Because when you get down to the animal level and really being able to communicate with animals, for me, that just says that you have this level of empathy and energetic connection that maybe just be a little bit deeper here.
Thank you.
Should we just jump into this really important subject of loss and looking at that from a spiritual perspective? I know you have a really unique point of view on this, Jaime. Do you want to share that with us? How we do find that there's that reminder at those special moments, those special milestones, those special times of the year when we might be putting a Christmas ornament on a tree and remembering someone, or getting ready to send out a card to someone that might not be around anymore.
When this post, Hanukkah will just have started. And I know from my family and friends, we'll be lighting the menorah and have certain traditions. So there's something about this time of year in general.
Yeah. And we all celebrate it. And most of us get so excited and get super pumped for baking and cookies and all that stuff. But for so many people, it's a time of ultimate deep grief. It is so hard. It's the first Christmas without mom, or even like we said, anniversaries, birthdays, holidays are so hard when we have lost someone, or over the years. It may never get easy. And there's always that something is missing during the holiday season or an anniversary or a birthday. And so it's nice to acknowledge that and be aware of that. And like you said, you go to write a Christmas card and, oh, wait, that individual transition passed away this year. That can flare up a lot of deep emotional triggers for many of us. And so we think holidays or birthdays is a joyous time. Again, like for many people, it's not. It's some of the hardest times.
I even actually want to bring up holidays like Father's Day or Mother's Day. Those times, having lost my father when I was young, those were so painful, just as painful as birthdays, anniversaries of his death. The holidays for us, we celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas. So it was all of it. We know that it's the holiday time right now. We wanted to talk about this because it's so important, but it really is throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is throughout the year. And especially as a child who has lost a parent, and then all the kids at school are making Father's Day cards and you're the one sitting there. What am I supposed to make? But the interesting and really cool thing about Christmas and Hanukkah is that this time of year, as the winter solstice is around us, it's easier to connect with spirit and have that spiritual connection because the days are shorter and the nights are longer. So the air becomes more damp and moist and permeable. And so a lot of spirit activity happens in the month of December, which is cool too.
Wow. And I think the other thing about this time of year is really believing. How do we lean into the fact that our loved ones are still with us? Even though we don't physically see them, they are with us in spirit.
Yeah. And that's the most difficult part, is the trust and just the surrendering to the energies around us. Humans love physical things. We love to touch things and see things. And if we're not seeing something physical, we believe, hey, it doesn't exist. When we were children in science class, we learned that energy exists in everything. So when our loved ones transition and go to the other side, they just lose their physical body, but their spiritual body is still there. And again, this is the hardest part, is just to surrender and trust that. And a lot of people, if they would just show themselves to me, it would heal me and I'd be better. But it's actually quite the opposite. When we are in a state of grief, and if mom, for example, comes forward and shows you herself in a spiritual form, it's going to trigger a lot of emotion for us. And it's just going to bring up so much stuff. So they don't want to upset us. So they take a step back until our wall of grief lowers a little bit, and then they'll come closer. So they'll wait until they can safely do so by showing themselves to you, or smell of their favorite cookies they used to make, or the turkey in the oven that they used to be in charge of every year. They'll sometimes wait to give us those signs that they are still around us. So trust is the biggest one, but recognizing when they do, to acknowledge, hey, mom, thanks for that. And then that's going to build the energetic relationship for you to be able to receive messages more clearly and more often.
It's like we always asking for signs is one way to start. It's that recognition or that reaching out that you are ready to receive. What can you say to people or to do if they are asking for signs and they aren't feeling that connection yet? What can they do?
Yeah. So a good one is try and take a moment of silence within yourself. And I know that's busy and chaotic in our day-to-day lives, but even if it's right before bed, just try and have a moment, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and reach out to that one you want to connect with. And I promise you, every thought or word regarding this individual on the other side is received. They hear and see everything we do. Now it's the matter of us to receive it back. That is an awesome way to start. Writing a letter to your loved one on the other side is a big one too, because you're also setting the intention, and writing is a very powerful intentional tool for us to use. So writing that letter, telling them about your day, that you miss them. Another one, play their favorite songs or albums that they used to like, because spirit will connect with that. And by keeping that memory alive, whoever made up that terminology was a genius, because that's what you want to do, is keep that individual's memory alive, because that is going to give it almost an invitation for them to come closer.
I know. Robin and I were talking about this as we were getting ready for this conversation. And I think that's one of the things that we felt strongly about. If there are little ones in your house that maybe haven't met grandpa or grandma and they're not around this year, to be able to tell the story of your childhood and what they meant to you in that time, and then make that cookie with them to pass along that tradition of love that they gave to you.
Yes.
Kind of push through the grief by offering that tradition and those stories and those experiences onto somebody else.
Yeah. And again, the more you do that, I think the more signs you'll notice, especially in family settings. So Hanukkah, Christmas, anniversaries, stuff like that. The more family that's around, the energy is going to be bigger. And so the signs are going to be easier to receive as well. I like the analogy of stoking a fire. We have to start it with a little flame, and then we keep putting the logs on it until it gets bigger and bigger. So the more energy and the more acknowledgement and the more reaching out to your loved ones on the other side, you're putting logs on, and the fire is going to get bigger, and then you'll be able to feel it and hear it and see it and even smell it.
Well, and I would say that also, when you are feeling it, if it brings up tears for you, let them out.
Yeah.
If you just let yourself cry, even if it's for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, usually once you release it, then you can actually look at things in a more positive way, right? So yes, you're still feeling the grief, but you're able to actually move forward and actually do what you're talking about. Pass along that ritual, talk about the memories. And I also was going to say, New Year's is another major holiday that's coming up, that I know a lot of people in their families have traditions, whether that's on the eve or on the day of getting together and welcoming that new year. And that also can be a really hard time because it's a new year. And let's say your loved one passed away within this past year. That's difficult. So do you have advice on how to get through that as well?
Just the same way is building a relationship with them on the other side. Because when our loved ones, whether it's a human or animal, when they die, we're just losing the physical body. So the relationship still exists. We just need to put the puzzle pieces back together and understand that it's still there. And yeah, I get what you're saying, Robin. Going into the first year without mom or dad or brother or sister, it can be very daunting, a very daunting task. So I would, this New Year's, if you are grieving a loved one, make that your New Year's Eve countdown goal is to be, I'm going to connect with my loved one on the other side, and I'm going to recognize those signs of spirit throughout the year. And I would also journal any messages or symbols or signs that you do get throughout the year. And then maybe next New Year's, you can go back on it and say, okay, I received all these messages. They are still with me. And releasing the emotion is important, especially when people don't take animal grief completely seriously in a lot of parts of the society. And we need to grieve our animals. For many people, they are a family member. They are a child. They are the constant companion with unconditional love. So when we lose one around this time or a holiday, you dig out the stockings and your dog still has the stocking there. That can trigger so much. So yeah, to honor and recognize is going to be the most important thing for people. And you don't have to be a psychic to do that, which is the cool thing. Anyone can do that.
And I'm so glad, number one, that you brought up animals because they are part of our family, as you just said. So I'm so glad you brought that up. And the other thing I wanted to say is having a photo of that person. Your instinct at first may be to not have any photos around because it's so painful. But as soon as you can have something where you are looking at them, and maybe it's just one photo, there's something about talking to them. And to your point of acknowledging them.
And that's awesome because that's keeping the tether there. And not that if you're not doing it, the tether's not there, but it's just going to get stronger and stronger. And maybe that one day the photo, not to freak you out, but will probably fall.
Or it can also be something that they had, right? It can be a bracelet, or it can be a picture they painted. It doesn't have to actually even be the photo of them themselves if that's too painful, but it can just be something precious that they had in this lifetime that you hold on to. The other thing I was going to say that about the journaling, which I so believe in because my mom taught me this transpersonal journaling exercise, which, so if people don't know what that is, it's really fun to experiment with if you have the wanting to connect. And that really is just writing a letter to that person that you miss, and then listening and writing down anything that you feel might be coming back from them to you. And if you can literally just close your eyes and type or write out anything that comes, it might really surprise you what you read when you go back and you review it. I know for Rob and I both, we've both done it, and it's just tends to be the most loving, inspiring, authentic communication.
I love that. And so that's also called channeling as well. So you're channeling from a higher source, from your loved one on the other side, and trusting, just letting the pen move. I love that. I'm going to do that tonight.
I always say, try it. It makes you feel better. That's what it's all about. It's
right.
That feeling of relief from that grief, because it's probably always going to be there in some shape or form. You're always going to miss that person tangibly at the table or under the table if it's your pet. But that connection coming, it's an opportunity if you can reach past the grief at the chance that they can really show themselves to you in a totally new way.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And these are really suggestions on how to cope during these times. And we know you've talked to thousands of people, and we're sure you have some profound stories of how to cope and messages from the other side. Can you share any of those?
Yeah. And again, this time of year is really cool to get spirit messages. And my goal when I do my work is I want to prove to people that your loved one, whether it's a human or pet, is still around you. And they're a part of everything we do, whether it's a big family event or just you sitting on the couch reading a book. And I wanted to share a story about how they are around us during this time of year. I was working with a client last Christmas, and this is one of my favorite stories because she was just in stitches laughing. Her mother recently passed away, and mom was always in charge of the turkey and the potatoes, and it was always held at mom's house, grandma's house, and that was her important thing. And so this was going to be their first Christmas without mom/grandma. And so everyone got together and they all took pieces of the puzzle to try and get the traditions going and stuff. And so when we were connecting with, it was her 3 daughters I was doing a group session with, and mom came in and she's burnt the turkey. And it was the sister-in-law, and all the sisters started laughing. And they're like, yeah, the turkey was mom's baby. Like mom always did it. And sister-in-law burned the turkey. And then mom mentioned doing the toast, and they did a toast to mom. And sure, that might be obvious, but mom really wanted to mention, I knew that everyone was having non-alcoholic cider in those glasses. So originally you'd think wine or beer or a nice cocktail or whatever, but they, for some reason, I can't really remember why. I think one of them was pregnant, and so they all were just doing the toast together. But mom knew that. And for that piece of evidence to come through, her daughters were just so happy that they knew mom was with them. And she also mentioned the candy cane wrapping paper that they had used under the tree. And so I just think that's beautiful. Like she was just standing over the table watching them all complaining about the turkey in some sort of way. And they want to be a part of our lives. Just because they're on the other side, they don't want to miss out on what we do.
I love that. It really is beautiful. It feels so tangible. I'm sure for those sisters, also just hearing that story, it shows you how present people are.
Right.
How good
Right.
the other side is. Yes.
Yeah. And same with animals, because they're still with us too. And I had this client who was grieving her dog, and the dog came through and he was like, tell mom, I love the red Christmas tree. And yeah, one could think red is a Christmas color. Of course there's red on her Christmas tree. And she said, no, I have 4 trees in my house. Each one is a distinct color. There's like gold, there's silver, there's a blue one, and there's a red one. And my dog always used to lie by the red one. So that gave a sense to this woman that her beautiful little pup is still there sleeping under the tree.
Wow. I love that. And there's no reason why you can't even have a real conversation with that person who's passed over. So as you're making the turkey, you'd be like, okay, grandma, are we doing all right? You can really invite them into the situation, into the holiday. Even though you can't physically see them, you can still make them a part of that.
Yeah. My grandma, she passed away 3 years ago, and no one can make her apple pie the way she does. So whenever there's a holiday coming for my family, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, it's interesting because I'll get a download and I'll just get a feeling that no one's supposed to make the apple pie. And I didn't know about the apple pie because I've moved away from home a couple decades ago. And so I don't think I've ever had it. But so I started asking my mom, I keep thinking grandma's telling me to tell you not to make the apple pie. And she's because no one can make it right. And she's very stern. She was a very stern lady. So she's, no one touches that recipe.
You'd think at this point, maybe she could give you the download of how to make it.
Yeah, exactly. But what the cool thing about spirit is, no matter how enlightened and like spiritual they are, they want to project themselves with the same personality and how they were, because they want us to recognize them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Whereas if my grandma was like, sure, you can make the apple pie, my mom would be like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, totally. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm hopeful that in all that we just talked about right now, people have a better idea of how to get through these times, right? Whether it's these holidays or these anniversaries and birthdays that come up throughout the year, there are ways, and no one's saying that it's easy, but there are certainly ways to cope better.
And
Right.
to also reach out to our living friends, relatives, to talk about them, to lean into, yeah, I'm missing them a lot, and speaking it out loud, because almost always somebody else is too. You're not alone in that grief. And the more that you can talk your way through it and bring them into your conversation. You're connecting more with them, but then you're also connecting with each other.
Yes. Keeping their energy and spirit alive on this side.
Yeah, exactly. Because so many people are depressed, and this is so hard for everyone all throughout the year. And when our vibration is lower from being sad and depressed and grieving, it lowers our vibration. And so spirit, it's harder for them to give us the messages. So if we can find some peace and joy in doing the traditional things that you normally do on these holidays, it will lift our vibration up so we can recognize the signs that we are receiving.
And now we're waiting for our guest.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, how are you all?
Hi.
Good.
For everybody that's listening, Kate has just joined our Zoom and she's just meeting Jaime for the first time. They do not know of each other.
Not at all. Nice to meet you, though.
Nice to meet you. And I'm just getting emotional for a moment because I'm looking at your necklaces. Are those butterflies?
Yes.
I was meditating before to get prepared for this, and I knew there was going to be something with butterflies today. So, and are you wearing 3 of them?
I am.
Oh, I love it.
I've got a
love
lot
it.
of them. I've got a couple of other ones as well.
Okay. Because whoever's going to come through today has a message about the butterflies.
Oh, that is. Well, Karen and I will just step back and Jaime will let you and Kate.
Okay. Kate, thanks so much for coming on here today. I'm trusting this process, and it's an honor to meet you. And you're beautiful.
Well, you are too. It's so nice to be here. So I appreciate this.
Awesome. Okay, Kate, I'm just going to get you to just close your eyes for a moment. Take a couple deep breaths in. I'm just going to connect to your family, friends, and loved ones on the other side. Okay, Kate, the person who was showing me the butterflies earlier, is it your mom who has passed away?
Yes.
Okay, because she just wanted to send me butterflies, and she's saying that she gives you messages through butterflies too. You've recognized that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So is that why you are wearing those necklaces? Is it for her, or was this a thing before?
It's a double meaning. It's for her as well as someone else.
Okay. Was that someone else, your sister or her sister?
No.
Okay. Because I felt like she was with another female over there as well too.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to bring mom in. And what was mom's name?
Cassie.
Okay. I'm going to bring Cassie in today. Now she's letting me know, she was ill for a while there?
She was not, but who she's with, I would assume was.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I'm gonna bring Cassie in here as well. Now, Kate, do you have children?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing 2 with you.
Yes.
Okay, because I might call her grandma because she keeps referring to her grandchildren. She wants you guys to understand that she is still a part of their lives. They're still teenagers or younger?
Teenagers.
Okay, so she is still wanting to guide them and be a part of their lives. Is it 2 boys you have?
2 boys. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's just saying they're a handful, which obviously 2 teenage boys are, but she's showing me them like bickering back and forth all the time. And she's just, oh my God. Now, does one play hockey?
Yes.
Yeah.
My youngest.
Okay. Yeah. Cause she's showing me like going to hockey, and I feel like his big brother like bullies him at times, but what big brother doesn't, right?
Yeah,
but she's just kind of like throwing her hands up and stuff. Now, if she was always in the kitchen, hey?
There's a picture of her in the kitchen that I have now.
Okay.
But she was not a big cook. I'm not either, but she was.
Because she was showing me being in the kitchen. So I guess she's referring to the picture in the kitchen.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. Gotcha. Now, was your dad over there as well?
Yes, he's
okay.
There.
Now, was he the taller man?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So now is he the other one with the butterfly symbolism that you had? You said it was referring to 2.
No, do I tell you? Or
yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. So our daughter is there. So my mom is there with my daughter who recently passed.
Okay. So we have daughter, mom, and dad. Okay. Yeah. Gotcha. And sorry, what's your daughter's name?
Penny.
Did she have the long blonde hair?
She has darker hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just see if I can reach into Penny. And I'm sorry, Kate, how long ago did she pass?
Just a month ago.
Yeah, it might be a little tender for her to come forward. So we're going to see. Was she the middle child?
She was, yeah.
Okay. Let's see, Penny, can we come through? Now, was she good at sports?
No, sports weren't her thing. She lived a big life and she had a big personality, but not as much as the boys in terms of.
Okay, let me just see, because I just feel her. I see her at like games, but I'm wondering maybe she was
Probably
just
the
always
biggest cheerleader of any in terms of spirit.
Okay, yeah, because I'm seeing not in the sports, but okay, around it. Yeah, because I'm just seeing like the games and stuff. Okay, so Penny, please come forward. Now, I feel like she's holding a dog. Do you have
love animals?
Yeah. Yeah, so she's coming through holding a small brown dog.
My parents had a dog who was not small, but a brown dog, Charlie.
Okay, so that dog might be coming through as a puppy because it's definitely brown. But again, the symbolism of her really liking animals. Now, she is showing me a present, but it doesn't have to do with Christmas. Was it her birthday that just passed?
Her birthday was in June, but she passed right before Thanksgiving.
Okay, whose birthday is around this time or that just passed?
Henry is our oldest. Birthday is in January, and my mother passed 4 years ago this coming Sunday. And I'm trying to think what other birthdays would be in.
Okay, I feel it's connected with you. When's your birthday?
August.
Okay. She wants to give you something though. Okay. I'm having a problem understanding, but she's wanting to give you a present now for something. So I feel like she's bringing you something. Okay. So just keep your awareness out because it's like this time of year right now, but it's not for Christmas. It's a gift for something. There's not an anniversary or something right now.
No, but I have a feeling that she's bringing pennies from heaven, as I've talked to Robin and Karen about, but there's a lot that's going on right now in her honor. And so that's certainly feeling like she's behind this swell and this momentum that we're feeling.
Okay. I'm glad you can understand that because it's a little foggy for me. Now she's also saying the boys will find the pennies too. And the youngest one you said was Henry?
Frankie is the youngest and Henry is the oldest.
Okay. Now she's telling me that she does something with Frankie's music.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. Because they used to do TikToks together.
Okay.
So now there's a whole momentum of launching TikToks in her honor. And so there's a connection there.
Okay. Yeah. Because she's showing me that. And does Frankie know that it's her? That any glitches or anything that's happening, it's her coming in.
I think he looks for the signs. He's very aware of that.
Yeah, and that's why she's bringing him up over Henry because he can feel me, and she's showing me on the left of Frankie. So if he feels any warmth or like comfort on the left side, that's her. But she's also mentioning Frankie's socks. What is with the socks?
It just leaves them everywhere. I don't know.
She's showing me like balls of socks. In the floor.
Yeah.
So she's just giving that information because she wants to say, hey, Mom and Frankie and everyone else, I'm here. But for some reason, she's showing me Frankie going to picking up socks and there's going to be like a penny under one or a penny in one.
Okay.
So wait and see if that happens. Now, Kate, do you have any questions for her at this time?
Not so much, maybe other than hopefully we're making her proud, everything we're doing and this momentum that's happening, that she's supportive of it because it's something that's taking off right now. And so it's in her honor. So hopefully she doesn't feel like it's too cringy, which is the word
Was her favorite color purple? Because I keep seeing purple.
Yeah. So that's part of what we're doing right now is purple.
Okay, awesome. No, she just gave me goosebumps. She's so proud. And she's so proud of you, Mom. She says, and you're just the best mom that she could ever have. Now, and I can't see your body, but she's showing me you in the bathtub. Do you have lots of baths?
I do. Yeah. Every night.
Yeah. So she's showing me you in the bathtub, neck up. Don't worry. But she's just saying when you're relaxing and stuff like that in the hot water and everything, it's raising your vibration so you can connect with her there too. It's just easier. And again, there's like the energies the air is thicker or moist and it's easier to connect and feel spirit in that temperature. So she's saying she connects with you there. Now and she's also mentioning she's acknowledging the photo of her in your room as well. And did something happen with that? She's showing me it falling or moving or.
I'm not thinking of a specific one, but whether that's a painting or we certainly have lots of pictures of her around because of what we're doing and what we're launching for her.
Okay.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
She's showing me in your bedroom and like you're alone and something just happened. So again, it might not have happened yet,
Okay.
but just be aware. Now, when people come for Christmas, she wants to acknowledge it. Okay, do you have any animals right now?
Yeah.
Okay, because she's saying one of them sees her all the times and reacts. Do you have a dog?
We have 3.
Okay, there's one dog that she says barks and it's giving me like a little more of a yippy bark in a way.
Could be Winnie. We have Bo, Winnie, and Clover are our 3 dogs.
Okay, which one's the small one?
Clover. That's her dog.
Okay.
That's her. She's a year old, and that's the dog that Penny had. Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's Clover then, because she's saying one of the dog, all animals can see our loved ones because they're all psychic, but she's mentioning that one of the dogs always looks at her and will do a bark out of nowhere. So yeah. So pay attention to that as well too.
That's amazing.
Now, Kate, I feel like she's also showing me these beautiful white flowers. I don't know if they're orchids or something along those lines. Does that mean anything to you? Like she's wanting to give them to you?
I'm staring at orchids right behind my computer right now.
Okay. Okay.
A big arrangement of orchids, if you could see it behind this computer.
Amazing. And okay, so she's just acknowledging that and she knows they're there. And again, these are tips and like little signs and pieces of evidence that, Mom, I'm still here. I'm with you in everything you do.
Yeah. And the good news is I feel that and I know that. And that's what's so beautiful. And I think that's also the recognition of why we know she lived her life's purpose because we now can see those signs. And I think that's why also the boys see butterflies everywhere. They see these signs, which is an incredible gift to be able to see that. None of this is surprising me because it dates everything.
And yeah, you feel it. It feels good. And did you say you had tattoos for her as well?
I don't have tattoos, but I think the boys, I know Henry wants to get a tattoo in her honor. And who knows, maybe one day down the line I will.
Yeah, she showed me a purple butterfly on your wrist.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So down the line. Now, she also mentions, are you going on a holiday soon?
We are. Yeah. We're able to get away, which will be really nice.
Okay, good. Because she really wants you guys to go and enjoy that and know that she's going to be there. So is it a Southern holiday? Because I'm seeing like palm trees and
we're in Long Island. We live in Long Island, but we will be, we're going to go down to Florida for 2 nights and then we're getting to the Bahamas.
Oh, amazing. And that's the family trip.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. She's really wanting you guys to go. Now, she's also making me laugh because you're going on a cruise to the Bahamas?
We're not. We're going to this tiny little island. And so it's been a last minute planning. So it's a miracle that we're even able to get there.
Okay. Interesting, because she showed me like doing karaoke. And I don't know if that means anything to you, if she would be, because I felt like she was showing me a cruise ship and doing karaoke.
That's so funny. Well, maybe we'll be doing it down there.
Yeah. So just put that in the back burner too. And this is what happens all the time too, is our spirit wants to give us information about what is going to happen, because then in a month or 2 from now, when it does, you'll be like, oh, I predicted this. They are definitely here. So yeah, she's just showing me being on stage and doing karaoke. And so that's why I was like, is it a cruise ship she's on?
So funny.
Now, do you have any other things you'd like to talk about with her?
I'm trying to even think in terms of, I know she's okay. I know she's with incredible people. So she's safe and taken care of. And you said she's proud. So that feels good. And I guess just that she knows we're going to make this into the biggest thing that we're doing in her honor and her name, and that pennies from heaven. We know that's coming from her, but just to have her blessing to make this as big as it is. And the paths that we're taking to inspire others to live with positivity and bravery and find imperfection and beauty and positivity and challenge and faith over fear. That's what our road is, along with raising funds for a cure for NF, which is what she had, neurofibromatosis. So that is what we're doing in her honor. And it's not anything that we asked her before she passed, but we're doing it.
Okay. And Kate, where's Dad? Where's her dad?
He is in the house right now.
Okay. Because she's just showing me his like chest and heart chakra, and she just wants to heal that a bit for him. And she's just making me aware. Is he a bigger, strong man?
Yeah.
Because she's just showing me like how she loves Dad's arms around her. And so if your husband can know that she's still receiving those hugs from Dad, and she feels him and she wants him to feel him too. Because he's fragile. Everyone is, right? But she also says that she rides in the car, or is it a truck he drives?
We have a big Denali, and then he has an Audi.
Okay, because she's showing me the bigger vehicle, and she's just saying she's with Dad in the car when he's driving.
Good.
And she just also wants to mention, and I'm not sure how much time we actually have, but she's also saying, I'm not sure if he's aware, but there's a song, or she did something on the radio with him.
Yeah. She had a song that she sang, which was Walking on Sunshine. And the day she passed, he's listening. But the day that she passed, we got into the car, the big car that you were mentioning, to walk the dogs. And when we got into the car, that song was playing on the radio.
Oh, I love it. I have goosebumps. Yeah. So yeah, she was showing me your husband going to turn on the radio or switch the radio. And so, yes, that was her.
Yeah,
that was her.
And we knew that as well. We immediately saw the sign and knew.
That's awesome. And so even though the grief is hard and it's scary and daunting at times, it doesn't feel empowering that you have this wonderful connection and that your relationship is still existing. Kate, she just also told me you're going to be writing a book.
I know. And this is what we've heard, or I've heard again and again. And I've talked to a couple of different mediums who've told me the same thing. This is around what we're doing for her and in her name and her honor. And I had heard that I was going to write a book, that I'd be on a large stage, that we would be doing this. So
yeah, I'm seeing you speaking in front of a lot of people.
Yeah. So that's what we're working towards. And this is all for her. And when I was first told that before she passed, I thought it was for clients of mine or doing something for another charity or organization. And then she passed, and all of a sudden it was like the road was very clear. And so that is what is such a gift for me, is when I said, I know she lived her life's purpose and now we're living ours. And it's just incredible how fast it's happening and, how clear it is. So we're grateful for that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And yeah, I'm just getting goosebumps all over. And again, goosebumps are when spirit is coming close to you. And when we're talking about something they really want you to understand or know. And they're also called what we call truth bumps. Yeah. So Penny's just, yes, Mom, write this book. It's going to be amazing.
You can tell her to tune into CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell tonight, because we just did an interview.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So to be continued, but I'm just, more than anything, I'm just grateful that she's proud and that we're doing something right for her and not cringy.
Yeah. And you know what else is cool for those listening? So Kate's mom came in first, and that's how spirit enters sometimes. They want to lead the pathway for the one person we really want to hear from today. And instead of just shocking us with information, they're just kind of, yep, I'll lead the way. And especially if it's grandma, I'm taking care of her. She's good. Open the doorways and then step aside and let Penny have the room, kind of thing. And for her to come through so strong already after a month is fabulous, because you're reaching out and you're acknowledging all the signs and messages.
And we are. And I think that's why we say with the butterflies, you spread your wings, shine your light, is what we're saying for Penny. And we've launched a foundation in her name, which just launched last week, Penny's Flight.
Yeah, we tell everybody what it is, Kate?
Yeah, it's Penny's Flight, and it's really about spreading your wings and shining your light and finding beauty in imperfection and positivity in the face of challenge and faith over fear. And that's really the way that Penny lived her life. And by spreading her wings and touching others who might be struggling and having them choose positivity brings awareness to raising critical funds that are needed for neurofibromatosis research and finding a cure.
Amazing.
And where can people go to if they want to find out more about it?
Thank you. Yeah, it's Penny's Flight, and we're on Instagram, and now we're on TikTok, and we have a website. So it's www.pennysflight.org.
I'm going to look you up on Instagram and check out that website.
Yeah, well, spread your wings and shine your light, and you shine your light on me. So I'm for that very grateful.
I'm grateful for you and Penny.
Yeah. And just thank you for being open to the experience and being so open to the connection. Not everybody is. And I think when you are moving through this in a very powerful way, a very inspiring way, and she's very much alive and with us, and now going to make a difference in many more lives. And so are you.
We hope so. You guys are a gift to me. So I'm very grateful. And
I just love how you guys have so proactively done this. And we were just talking earlier, Jaime was actually saying that there's so many ways to connect with our loved ones. Jamie's so gifted, but as you've already demonstrated, looking for those signs and you're proactively making her part of your everyday. And I think it's just such a great message to people out there who are also going through the holidays and maybe missing their family members as well. How do you action and how do you lean in and how do you keep them in your lives?
And I think that's what's been so beautiful about this is that I think we have somewhat changed the narrative in terms of you don't have to mourn. You don't have to be so sad and isolate yourself. Really, you can open yourself up and celebrate someone's life instead of mourning someone's life. And once you choose that path of positivity, then you've got everyone on board. And that's what happened with us. We brought our entire community in to celebrate Penny. No one wore black. Everyone wore color. There was pictures and paintings, and all these programs have launched in her honor. So now there's paintings for Penny, and there's all these pop-ups her friends have done. And I think it's been so therapeutic for not only our family to have purpose and celebrate this way, but truly everyone that Penny knew and everyone she touched. So it feels that's where this swell, to your point, Karen, this feeling of we're getting through this because we've brought her so close. And everyone has. So it's just been a truly beautiful thing. As much as you can say that when someone passes, the beauty in it is incredible.
Yeah. And thank you for saying it like that because it's so true. And the more you celebrate them, the stronger it gets again. And you look at other religions or cultures, like they celebrate the Day of the Dead in Mexico and stuff. And that brings tons of spiritual energy around. And with you and your community doing that as well, this energy just twins it up for her.
Yeah, it really, and when I say the wings, it's like it's lifted and taken off. And it's just been and so beautiful for us as a family and as a community. And again, for Penny's friends as well.
It's so important in terms of what you're doing in terms of raising awareness and funds for something that not everybody has heard of. And yet it's so prevalent.
That's the biggest thing. So neurofibromatosis is the largest genetic disorder in the country. There's 1 out of 2,500 people are afflicted with neurofibromatosis, and it has become somewhat of an orphan condition because of the fact that there's so many different symptoms that it really hasn't been focused on, and there hasn't been enough awareness that's been brought to the condition and the funds to follow, to be honest.
You're changing that. Penny's changing that.
That's our hope.
You did for others. Think about that, how she'll be cheering you on, knowing how many people this will help. You know?
And so, Kate, I feel like she also just really wants you to know that the boys are okay. So I don't know if there was ever like a worry about them having it as well. She just was saying they're fine.
Good. Yeah. Because it's a genetic mutation, random, and we knew that they didn't have it and they wouldn't get it. But I think more than anything, I'm glad to know that they're okay also, and seeing the signs and feeling connected to her, which is the most important thing, and wanting to be involved in carrying her legacy on and being a part of what we're doing, which has been really amazing.
Wow. This is so powerful. Well, Kate, thank you. Thank you for coming, Jamie. Thank you for channeling Penny so beautifully and giving Kate validation. Who doesn't need that?
No, I'm just, again, so grateful, Jamie and Karen and Robin, obviously. So thank you all.
I'm taping the CBS Evening News tonight.
No, yikes. So wings are definitely spreading, and check out our TikTok because Penny's girlfriends are launching TikTok dances. This is also the beauty because it's all of her girlfriends who are doing this. It's not just something that we have said, you need to do this. It's just taken off.
Well, it's giving them something to do.
Exactly. At that young age, loss. Listen, it can be so scary, and you're turning it into something not so scary, which will impact them for the rest of their lives. They will think of life and death differently. How beautiful is that?
I think so. And I hope so, because I can't imagine if I was in their position at 16 years old, losing one of my best friends. If you've never even experienced death, how do you?
Which most haven't, really. Most haven't.
No. And how do you even handle that? So yeah, I hope that it's a gift for all of them and that they will also change the narrative moving forward. So
is the TikTok Penny's Flight?
At Penny's Flight Foundation. And they have created a dance. It's all them. And they are doing duets and wanting to make it go viral. And we did the initial post and now it's up to them.
I'm definitely telling my daughter to do
please. Yeah, she can do it. And actually the dance was choreographed by our niece who her name is Hip Hop Hopi, that's her handle. And Hopi, and she's really talented. And so she created this dance and we'll see.
Awesome. Oh, this is so powerful. And
thank you.
Beautiful.
Kate, we'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. Thank you for everything. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Wow.
Jamie.
It's a really good thing for us to add in at the end that yes, we should look for signs, and yes, we should make our loved ones continue to make them part of our traditions and our rituals and our everyday. But if they really want to reach through and have a one-on-one connection with them, coming to somebody like you, Jamie, is so helpful and so healing.
Yes, exactly. The fact that you exist and that you are the translator. And Karen and I, one of our intentions on our journey is to find the translators that we trust. You are one of them. And we would never have suggested having our friend Kate talk to someone we didn't trust. And
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for handling that so delicately and beautifully and compassionately, because you really had no idea. We knew Kate was open, really open and ready.
Yeah.
As everyone's listening to this right now, we know that not everybody is ready for that so soon after that.
Because it's a very delicate ground to walk on.
It is. Sure. And thank you for trusting us and also trusting yourself and your messages from Penny.
And it was like 20 minutes before I got on here with you ladies, it's just butterflies everywhere and they were coming in purple.
That is so amazing. That really is her sign. So now when you go check her out after this and you look up Penny's Flight and you look up Penny Dergy, you will be able to see that's her symbol. How believable, how clear that came to you.
Yeah, I'm going to follow them, like them, share with everything. Yeah.
And Jamie, thank you for all of this, for this whole conversation, for trusting that you were guided to ask us to do this episode at this time to help everybody listening get through these holidays, making it a little bit easier.
Thank you for having me and trusting me.
We love you. Until the next time. And you can book a session with Jamie or take one of her courses at jaimebreeze.com. That's JAIMEBREEZE.com. And you can also follow her at Jaime Breeze on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Awesome.
It was so nice being with you and in your energy, and you're both just so amazing. I love it.
Hey!